Chelsea and played for Arsenal, David Luiz. Okay, other games that at early kickoff, Qarabag to Chelsea 2. Chelsea dropped points and nobody could believe it, but two mistakes from Herto cost Chelsea a point. They need to start fixing up their defense if they want to go far in any competition, including the Premier League. Okay, Manchester City beat Dortmund 4 goals to 1. Newcastle beat Atletico Club 2 goals to 0. Ajax lost at home to Galatasaray 3 goals to 0. The Club Brugge and Barcelona played a 3-3 draw. Benfica lost again. Jose Mourinho lost at home to Bayer Leverkusen 1 goal to 0. Inter are still unbeaten in this group phase. They have played 4 and won 4. They have 12 points. They beat Kairat 2 goals to 1. And Marseille lost at home to Atalanta 1 goal to 0. Lukman and his coach had a beefing in that game. Have a small disagreement in that game. Let's see how it's going to pan out in upcoming weeks. Okay, let's start with the early kickoff first. Let's start with Chelsea. Chelsea dropped 2 points away to Qarabag. It was I didn't understand what happened. They scored first in that game. Esther was scored first in that game. Now everybody was thinking, okay, Chelsea is going to run away with this, and they considered 2 goals to make it 2-1. Even though Nakanacho scored in the second half to make it 2-2, but Chelsea are dropping points. I don't know why but need to fix this defense. This defense is still a problem for Chelsea.
Chelsea lost that game when they thought that they could use Team B and walk away with the win in this one. This is not the Conference League. This is the Champions League, so you have to put your A game anyhow you want to think about it. You may have a big game in the weekend, but the most important thing, like I will always say, is the game in front of you. The battle in front of you today demands your full respect, demands your full attention. Why would you have a Fofana on the bench, have some of the other guys on the bench, and then you now want to go and start with Hato in that center? It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Why are you using Champions League game to test run your B team? It doesn't work. Look at
even Etari just started.
Yeah, like I don't understand how that happens.
Getting started again, and I didn't play well. They was taking off just after the half time, and I think Gittins need to, even though they played well in the Carabao Cup, but Chelsea, I don't know, they need to just change something.
Champions League, Premier League, please, premium or nothing. You can do your Mere Niru later on in the Carabao Cup. If the players want to give chance to show something, give them Carabao Cup to do that, but not Champions League football. You understand me? Why this is kind of upsetting for me is because a lot of people are not saying unnecessary things about Enzo Maresca. You understand me? And a lot of people are saying some unsavory things yesterday about the lineup he chose and some other things. A lot of people went back to talk about he came late to training. A lot of all those unnecessary talks are coming up. But the most important thing is that he started with a center pairing that was more solid. Secondly, we've said it on this show here that Chelsea do not have a 9. Chelsea do not have a 9. I'll say it again because you play Tyree George up forward, play João Pedro behind him, good positioning for João Pedro. They did not unlock his capacity in that game. And then secondly, when this other guy came up their lap, we didn't see anything from the guy. You've been sidelined for the better part of how many months? You should be the one chomping at the bit to come into the game and score a goal, do something for the team. It's looking unlikely now, but the man who was on the beat yesterday for Chelsea was Estaval, establishing himself again within the side as somebody that the manager can count on. So as it stands right now, I think the next move for Enzo Maresca is Gittins and Garnacho should be substitute bench. Move Neto to that left. Let Estaval have a starting spot.
Or probably when their main star comes to Palmer. It depends how you want to put. Probably Palmer might play from the wing, from the midfield. I think they are missing Palmer, but one player cannot depend on just one player a whole season. You cannot say because of one player that your season will fall apart. They are not challenging. Okay, let's say because it's 10 games in the Premier League, I won't say that they are not challenging because anything can happen, but they are still way off the title challenge. And the Champions League, they need to finish top 8 so that they will avoid more games to play in the Champions League, which that you don't even know. You might qualify outside top 8 and you hit probably another bigger team that will still knock you out of that play. So it doesn't make sense. But in this particular game, okay, you think that the formation is wrong, especially starting. Tyree George is not a bad player though. For me, it's not a bad player. But
it shouldn't be starting a Champions League night for Chelsea.
What is the best position for João Pedro? Behind a striker or a striker? That's my own question in this whole thing.
The thing with João Pedro is that João Pedro is a striker that needs another striker to play alongside him or another forward to play alongside him. So Imagine a Joao Pedro alongside a Delap in a game. Solid pairing. Because his hold up play is on point. His link on play is also on point. But for him to play there as a solo man and camp, he's not going to do that. He's drifty.
So
Delap is the person that can camp because he's a proper nine.
so
So he needs that pairing, or he needs somebody like a Palmer behind him that will unlock him.
somebody they go buy you, they find another person to unlock you. I
Now,
don't even
now
but
wetin Chelsea bring for themselves now? You had credible options in that nine position.
you always buy Osimhen.
You went for a low budget Delap, and then you went for a low budget Nkunku replacement.
I was just looking at that game yesterday, and I was like looking at if they have Osimhen in this Chelsea team, Chelsea probably have been done better because
they don't deserve him.
He's a fighter. I don't know why everybody decided not to bring Osimhen.
He's a fighter. He's also a hard worker. His work ethic is unquestionable. His performance is also, he has the numbers to back it up. But they do not deserve him. How can you tell a player that is on, let me say, 300 or 450 to come and collect 150 because you are who?
Okay, let's see. Let's see what happened with Chelsea. Lavia started that game. He wanted to rest some of the players, even though he underestimated his player. I think Maresca underestimated his opponent. He started Lavia and Santos in that midfield. So Caicedo and this person was on the bench. Yeah, number 8, what's his name? Enzo. He was on the bench. But Lavia got injured again after like 10 minutes in the game. He was substituted. That guy, since he came to Chelsea, injuries upon injuries upon injuries. He has not even actually played about 4 or 5 games together. Even though they have been managing his minutes, playing him maybe 10 minutes so that he can bring up his fitness. He started this game and he was injured. So I don't know what Maresca will do with him, but hopefully he will come back strong. He's still a young player and he's a good player, but injury will not allow him to perform. Chelsea still struggling with their defense. Hato made 2 mistakes. He considered a penalty too in that game. But let's see. I think they're still missing Cowell, but Cowell is still out till around January. He's going to be back. Until then, Chelsea needs to fix their defense. If not, it's going to be very, very sad because for you to challenge for the Champions League or the Premier League, you need a good centre-back defense. Look at when Chelsea were winning titles. You can see that their defense were strong. The last time they won the Champions League, they had this guy that is in Brazil, and this is their former captain. Thiago Silva. So you always have somebody leading that defense whenever they are winning titles. But I think that generally Maresca underestimated their opponent in this particular game. Fielded probably his second 11 in this game, and most of the boys were on the bench. But it is what it is. Qarabag, I'll give credit to Qarabag too, because almost to get a point against Chelsea, they almost won that game. Garnacho entered in the second half and scored a goal. So Garnacho is actually probably doing well. So it's between Garnacho and getting who start on probably when Palmer comes back. We'll see how he's going to shuffle his team. But Maresca underestimated this team. If you look at the statistics in this game, Qarabag versus Chelsea, they had 8 shots in total and 3 on target, 40% possession and 231 passes. 85 of them were accurate. For Chelsea had 14 shots in total, 5 of them were on target, 60% possession and 430 passes. 91 of them were accurate. So Chelsea dropped 2 points in this Champions League race to top 8. Okay, let's move away to Chelsea and talk about our own person. The man of the moment. The man of the mans. The man of the men's. Osimhen scored a hat-trick for them to beat Ajax 3-0. Osimhen is one of the best strikers in the whole. I keep saying it. I don't know why top clubs did not go for Osimhen, because Osimhen, you could see he's a fighter. You could say that he's stubborn. Yes, it's good for you to have a stubborn striker. For me, it's good. All these selling, I like the Ibrahimovic attitude. You understand the attitude that he brings to the game, the fight he brings to the game. You could see that he's a fighter, and he scored 3 in this game to win this game for Galatasaray.
You have to give it to Osimhen. And like I said, all I want for Osimhen this season in the Champions League, you just come up there. Every game you get, go in there, score your goals, put the numbers in. Because you cannot come in this current season now and you go and look at top scorers in Europe. Osimhen is there in the top 5 if you look at goals scored already. So you have to give it to the man. Anybody who is looking for a 9 come summer, they know where to go and look, because it's not hidden. It's clear for everybody to see. we said something going into this game that Ajax are still a club in disarray right now
Yeah, they
because
are
they
struggling.
are struggling to find their bearing, their left from their right. That's because they've sold all the talent, and of course, it always takes a couple of years for you to get recruits that talent, build that team together again that will be able to mount a challenge for Europe or for some other things. But in this game, true to what Galatasaray aimed to do, started off well. Osimhen with the goal. They considered a couple of penalties, but Osimhen buried all those chances, and they are walking away with the win. Three goals in that encounter for that match, and it's a good one for Osimhen and good one for Galatasaray.
Yeah, good one for Osimhen. Remember, next week, Thursday, Nigeria is going to be playing that crucial game against Gabon. So we need all our strikers fighting. And Osimhen fought in this one and got 3 goals. Fantastic game for Osimhen. I am very, very happy for him. After the troubles he had about almost 2 summers now, he's now finding his feet, he's finding a home in Turkey, and he's doing well. Hopefully, he goes to a bigger club in the summer. But I think he should give Galatasaray 2 years for at least to pay back their what they did for him. Maybe this season and next season. Then if
I
another
think
big
he's
club,
already paying it back with the records he's
yeah,
producing.
he was highest goal scorer in the league last season. Now he's scoring goals. Scored 3 against IS. Fantastic. Osimhen, fantastic game for him. Son is provided one of those assists for him.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. I love Osimhen. In fact, I like the guy because he's a fighter. I wish he plays for my club, though, which I'm not telling people my club for now. I wish he plays for my club. I wish that he plays for Chelsea too, because Chelsea is was one of all the. If you look at all the teams in Europe, especially in England, Liverpool have Isak and Ekitike. Arsenal have Gyökeres, in quote, one of the best strikers in the past 3 seasons. So I'm not blame Arsenal for that. You have Manchester City that have
Haaland,
Haaland
yes.
there. It was just Manchester United and it was Chelsea that needed a top number 9. They needed, especially for Chelsea, because Chelsea has been building. They needed somebody that would just take them across the line, like an Osimhen, and they decided to go for the lap and Pedro. I don't know why, but they made that choice. But Osimhen, fantastic for him. He scored 3 in this game to beat Ajax 3 goals to 1. Fantastic game for him. Good game for Galatasaray. Let's hope that probably they are going to finish somewhere in knockout stages. They will qualify for the knockout stages already, but it's the top 8 that everybody is actually looking at if they are going to finish in the top 8. So good game for him. Okay, let's talk about Manchester City. Manchester City beat Dortmund 4 goals to 1, and you understand again. You know what I'm going to talk about. Haaland scored the game, even though that Foden scored 2. Haaland keeps scoring for Manchester City.
Yeah, you have to give it to the man. You have to give it to him. The work ethic, the energy, the impact he's having. He's having one of those seasons where everything he touches turns to gold. But then you also have to give it to the guys around him that are feeding him. Give it to the guys like Foden. Give it to Czechia as well. Czechia has been feeding Haaland a lot, and Haaland has been putting in stellar performances. This was a game that he was playing against his former club, and he got in on the goals for the team. And secondly, not just getting in on the goals, creating chances for other people to run into pocket spaces is another thing that a lot of people will not really give to him, but he's done well for himself in that, right? And he was taken off again in this encounter. So
that's interesting. He is the only in quote only recognized striker they
but
have in that
if you leave
team.
Haaland will like to play all the games 90 minutes, no doubt.
He's trying to protect him. I understand he's trying to protect him. You cannot play 90 minutes every day, every single game. So if you are the coach, you need to protect your superstar. But some games he will leave him. For example, if he's chasing a game, you will not remove Haaland. But if they are winning 4 goals to 1, there is no reason for you to keep playing him. You might not get injured and you now suffer. Remember, Haaland has scored 98% of City's goals this season. So you know what they mean to lose that kind of player in your team. So I understand what Pep is doing. You will not blame him. For me, I will not blame him. But Dortmund tried though. But winning at Etihad is very, really tough for any team. If you look at the statistics in that game, City had 14 shots in total. 9 of them were on target and 51% possession. 408 passes and 92% accuracy. For Dortmund had 6 shots in total, only 1 on target, even though they had an equal position with City with 59. They have 401 passes, just slightly above City. But City these days is not really about passing. They pass a little bit and they hit you on direct. They are trying to change their style of play to fit in, because when they are doing a lot of passing, they have De Bruyne, Gundogan, and Rodri playing in that thing, so they can hold balls. But you know, the team has changed a little bit, so Pep is trying to adapt to the players he has. But let's see.
For me, even with the team we have right now, I've always been comfortable with these two guys starting. Nico Gonzalez holding up that midfield as a controller, and then Tijani Reinders trying to play into that position as a player that can that can advance the ball forward. And these two guys have been solid for the team because whenever you have Reinders playing in that deeper role and Bernardo playing in that position of the distributor, the team actually suffers. So I'm happy that Pep started these two guys off for because Foden's goals are produced by Reinders. Reinders had 2 assists in that game, and Foden had some phenomenal goals in that game. So on the whole, I'm generally happy with the team and the performance yesterday.
Yeah, I'm happy for the team. For you too, I'm happy for them. They are doing well in the championship. But let's see, last season they suffered. City suffered very, very well. They suffered very well, though. Like they suffered no day here. They suffered very well. But now they are getting back to their rhythm. Now let's see where Pep. I'm always looking at Pep because Pep one person I cannot underestimate because somehow he just pulled off a surprise. Apart from last season, that was surprising to everybody that actually he fell off that.
It was to be expected.
Yeah, but truthfully, you cannot always win or every year. It's always going to be hard. But let's see where City is going to finish in this Champions League table. Okay, let's talk about Barcelona. Barcelona and their highlights. They played another highland and they were conceding goals anyhow. And that game ended 3-3. Club Brugge will score the equalizer. Club Brugge will score the equalizer. Fantastic game of football. For neutrals, it's a lovely game. But for Barcelona fans, I don't know if this highland is working.
Is a terrible.
I don't even know if this highland is working. Truthfully, I don't even know this highland because this highland is always the teams have studied this highland. And the thing about this highland is that their two center halves are not really that fast. If you look at Van der Ven for Tottenham and Rodrigo, you can okay, no problem. You can
look at Saliba and Gabriel. Yes.
But they play so hard. The highland is so much that if you have a pacey striker like the way Carlos was in this game, he's fast. He was just breaking those highlights, and the game ended 3-3 on the night.
Like I think there is a problem with the way FCB are playing. It's okay for you to have a playing style. It's okay for you to have this thing, but I believe this is one thing why I will still come back and blame Hansi Flick at the end of the day. I believe that as a manager, one of the reasons why you're on the sideline during the 90 minutes is to observe your team, observe the way the opposition break your team down, observe the shape of the team as well. Because okay, for the goal against City that Dortmund scored, it was Stones that broke that defensive line that played the guy onside. So you have to look at that and you have to correct that going forward. But if you are going to play a high line and you don't have pacey center halves that can recover that position, and you are being put to the sword, you know how you know you are being put to the sword? Whenever they have the ball and they are bearing down that flank and you are under pressure, you know that you've already made the big mistake. After you absorb that pressure, maybe they get a corner, they get something, and you have the ball back, you need to address that thing by dropping men back. Another thing I'll still come back to again is if you look at the way Arsenal play, whenever they are defending, Eberechize leaves whatever he's doing up front and come and partner Calafiori in that left full back position. Come and make that back line a 5. Come and shore up that defense to ensure that if Calafiori is going to block anybody, there's no space for anybody to run into. You need to be creative or proactive in that sense. And then secondly, if you look at the way the team is now, there is no Lewandowski, there's no Rafinha, so you have to conserve. You do not need to play the way you used to play when you had everybody together because you don't really have everybody together.
Well, Hansi Flick was talking after the game. He was saying that we can talk about changing everything, but I am not the kind of coach to do that. We want to play the true to Baka DNA. Well, he changed it last season.
Baka DNA na tiki taka. You changed that last season. Let's not come and cap, please.
I don't even understand what he was talking about. Because last season he changed it. He played almost direct football, even though they are passed around a little bit, but he was direct, more direct last season.
It was direct. Nothing you wanted. Look at Rafinha now.
That was always moving.
What are you saying, man?
But I think he's just trying to make an excuse for that draw. He's also saying that I do not want to sit deep and win a game by 1 goal to 0 on
Okay.
counter attack. He said that 3-3 isn't an ideal result, but he came back from every goal. So
And then, man,
I don't know. It was for me. It was a terrible game for Barcelona. This is a place you need to pick 3 points because, as I said before, if you don't finish top 8, you have extra 2 more games to play, which is dicey. You don't even know who they are going to pair you with. That's the thing. Imagine that you don't qualify.
they are lost. They are lost.
They pair you with Chelsea.
The funny thing is not who they pair you with at the end of the day.
It's extra game for you.
It's extra game. It's extra wear and tear on the players. It's extra risk of injury. So if you can shave the amount of games you are going to play in the Champions League, I think you owe it to yourself to shave the amount of games, because a lot of people will come in and still say Liverpool finished top of the table, went to the knockout stages, and were knocked out. Yeah. But then you also have teams that played through fire and brimstone in the playoffs, still made it, but their key players were injured, their key players were red carded and could not play the most important games, and they were knocked out too. So if you can save yourself the extra legwork, why not? It's 2 extra games you are shaving up by finishing in the top 8.
Okay, let's say Barcelona drew that game 3-3, but I have to give kudos to their opponent, Club Brugge. Fantastic game, especially for Carlos. Carlos did well, twice to score in that game. Fantastic game. Yamal scored and Ferran Torres scored in that game. The last game, a goal for Barcelona was an own goal. That one made it 3-3. Was a fantastic. If you ask, a fantastic game of football. If you look at the statistics in this game, Club Brugge had 11 shots in total. 6 of them were on target. They had very, very less position because they were defending and they were hitting Barcelona on the counter attack. That's why they scored almost those 3 goals. I think they scored one that was even ruled out for offside. So they were scoring goals against Barcelona. They had only 23% possession and only 173 passes, and they scored 3 goals, which is effective. This is the same thing Inter did to Barcelona last season, and they went through to the finals. No. So it's any way you want to play football, as far as the effective, and you win your games and you score goals. Simple. Nobody cares.
Who tiki-taka help?
Imagine
who passing out from the back.
When Chelsea won the Champions League against Bayern Munich, how many percent position will they get for that game? But they won that Champions League. For Barcelona in this game, they had 23 shots in total. 7 of them were on target. They have 77% possession and 678 passes. 94 of them were accurate, but they could not pick out any points.
And they needed their own goal to pick one point
in
after
this game.
all the passes.
So they need to start fixing up their defense, or buy fast defenders. Buy Van der Ven in your team. I think so. If you need to, Van der Ven is very fast, so that he can always cover when you people are playing this your Highland, and I don't understand. But fantastic game for them. Okay, let's move on to the other games. Newcastle beat Atletico Club 2-0. Atletico Club in the Champions League just come mark attendance. I think they are probably lost all their games of 1 point.
Real, man.
I don't know what they are doing in the Champions League. And they kept the William. We're supposed to go Barcelona.
They kept him. At the end of the day, they still sold a couple of characters, and they are still where they are. Luta continua. It's teams like this that you don't need to cry a river for, because you know they've accepted their fate. But kudos to Newcastle for the win. They showed another reason why English teams cannot be underrated in Europe, because they put in a very good performance. Kudos to Dan Bon, and then for Joe Linton as well, who scored on the night for Newcastle to make it 2-0. Kudos to Newcastle.
Kudos to Newcastle. Hopefully they are going to do well in the Champions League. I need all the English clubs to qualify. They assist on the table. I need all the English clubs to qualify for the knockout stages. All of them, all 5 of them to qualify from the see. Because in that first playoff, no, you cannot play the country with you cannot play the same country.
The same country, yes.
Yeah, so they are going to play different countries, but teams like Arsenal might finish top 8. And they probably have no opportunity. Even Liverpool might try and finish top 8. They have no opportunity to play that playoff. But fantastic game for Newcastle. For Atletico Club, Atletico Bilbao, they have only 3 points in this Champions League. They are struggling. They need to start fixing up. Okay, let's talk about Marseille versus Atalanta. It was 1-0 for Atlanta. They won that game 1-0. The highlight there was Lukman was substituted and had I don't know what he and his coach were arguing about. Probably Lukman said that people are saying that Lukman said something to the coach, and the coach was angry. But let's see. Lukman wanted to leave that club. They forced him to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no way that relationship can work.
Simple.
It cannot work.
Not just that they forced him to stay, you kept him out of the team for another 2 months. Who does that?
So
Who does that, man?
it's going to be an interesting.
And you want him to just smile like robot and come and no.
But in this particular game, it was a little bit of controversy before Atlanta scored that winning goal. Marseille was claiming a handball in their own, like in for a penalty, but it wasn't given. VAR reviewed it and decided to wave it away. Atlanta moved and moved forward, and they scored a world-class goal to make it 1-0 to them. But Marseille is struggling in this Champions League. But good game for Atlanta. At least they won this game.
You wouldn't begrudge Marseille, because let's come and look at it now. When last did they feature here? When last did they feature in the Champions League? So I'll cut them some slack on that one. But I feel like the game against Atlanta is a game they would have won.
They would have won.
They would have won. So in that regards, they didn't do well.
Okay. The thing now, let's even see what will happen with Lukman if it's going to be fine. I don't know, because the heated argument there. Even the staff needs to come and separate both him and the coach. I don't know what is wrong with what is happening there, but hopefully you will not get into trouble, because he is one of their superstars. He is one of the reasons they won that only Europa League title. So I don't know. They should start fixing up that team. Okay, Inter Milan won Kairat 2-1. Inter are still unbeaten in this Champions League. 4 games, 12 points. Fantastic game for Inter.
As expected, they've
done... not only like Kivu, but Kivu is performing in the Champions League.
You don't need to like Kivu, and secondly, as a fan, to a certain extent, it's understandable that you are going to be angry with whoever is managing the club at a certain point in time, but you have to be dispassionate as to who is in charge, and that the most important thing is the club is making progress. And you can see that for the last run of games, Inter Milan looks to be making progress, so you have to cut him some slack. In this encounter, we expected a win normally, and they delivered, irrespective of the fact that they conceded, but they delivered the 3 points, and that's what everybody will be looking at.
Yeah, they delivered the 3 points. That's the main thing. 4 games for Inter Milan, 12 points for them. They've won all the games. Them, Arsenal and Bayern Munich are only teams that have won all their games in this Champions League. And Arsenal is going to play Bayern in the next one, so one of them must drop points in this one. But it's going to be an interesting game in next match day in the Champions League. Okay, Benfica lost at home to Bayer Leverkusen. Jose Mourinho lost at home again. I don't think I don't think it's going to make this top 25. I don't think so. You have only 4 more games to go. It's going to be tough. It's
tough, but the most important thing is, in a situation like this, where I think one of the problems Mourinho is having is that Mourinho is, I would like to say Mourinho is entitled, or Mourinho is spoiled, because he's used to coming into a club, being given carte blanche to do and undo, being given a transfer kitty to get in players into the side. And in this time around, I think for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, and number 2, he entered when the season have already started, so you've not really bought a player.
Granted. So this time around, he has to make do with what he has. And it's one of those periods where you have to tell the manager, please, shamelessly use the players that were being used last time around, because those guys already understand themselves, as against trying to force somebody who has not been playing in that team into the side and try to make that person a key component of that side, because footballers are human beings. So let's not forget, this is the one reason why you will see a manager being sacked, and the next game they are winning the game comfortably 3-0, 4-0, and you're asking, is it the same thing that have been losing under this former manager? Players are human beings, so use the team. This is why we still go back and give Slot his merit, because he used the team the way it was, and it's only just now this season changing the style of play.
Okay, let's
see.
So
Mourinho should do same.
Okay, let's see what Mourinho is going to do. I don't think he's going to qualify for any knockout stages. They have 0 points after 4 games. The former coach lost the first game. He has lost 3 in a row in the Champions League himself. So it's going to be difficult for him to qualify for that first 24. But if you look at the person that is sitting on 25 points, it's just 3 points. That is Marseille in the last spot. So it's still possible though. But you need to start picking up wins. If you win probably 3 or 4 games, so next 4 games, he was going to qualify. I like seeing Mourinho play in the Champions League. Okay, finally the surprising result of last night Champions League is Pafos beat Villarreal 1-0. Everybody predicted that Villarreal is going to win. That's why sometimes if you go this kind of game that you could just dey cry.
The most important thing about this game was what I said ab initio, which is that some of these teams are just here to make up the number.
They have nothing to lose.
They have nothing to lose. So if you provide them opportunity at glory, which is a scalp, they will grab it with 4 hands instead of 2 selves. So that's what happened.
Okay, fantastic game for them. They won. David Luiz plays for that club now. But let's see. Wait, I don't think they are going to finish somewhere, but they are going to qualify. But I like seeing some of these teams do well.
I think the revenue is what they are looking for.
Yeah, but
give them the revenue.
As at now, they are still on 20th position. They are going to qualify for the knockout stages for now. But let's see where they are going to finish. Okay, if you look at the table, after match days 4 in the Champions League, Bayern Munich is first with 12 points. They have played 4 games and won all 4 in that game in this Champions League. So fantastic for them. For Arsenal is second with 12 points after 4 games. Arsenal have won all 4. They have not even considered any goal in this Champions League. Third is Inter Milan with 12.2. City are 4th with 10 points. PSG are 5th with 9 points. Newcastle are 6th with 9 points. The 7.7 position is Real Madrid with 9 points. The final team we occupy that first 8 is Liverpool with 9 points. But good to mention Galatasaray that are 9th on the table with the same points with Liverpool, and Real Madrid, Newcastle, and PSG. All of them have 9 points on the table. So hopefully Osimhen will lead his team to glory in this Champions League. For Chelsea are 12th on the table with 7 points. So Chelsea fans, make una go meet una coach or make una qualify for top 8. For the only team that have not gotten a point in this Champions League is Benfica with 0 points and Ajax with 0 points. Both of them have played 4 games and lost all 4 in this Champions League. So it's very, very terrible for these two teams. Okay, before we go over to Europa League, let's read some of the comments on our YouTube channel. Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Both FM Sports. And Boniface is here. Boniface is saying good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Boniface. And okay, Oluchi is here too. Good morning, guys, in the studio, and good morning, John. Good morning, Godwin. How far now? I do. Okay, make una go warm. Okay, one. Gabon. That's all I have to say. Yes, everybody is now wanting Gabon. Okay, Nigeria players are doing well. Joao Pedro is a striker. Okay, his own opinion is that Joao Pedro was brought in as a striker for Chelsea, so he should need to start scoring goals. Okay, Oluchi is also saying, see that first header goal from Osimhen, guy, make he do this versus Gabon, I beg. That game is going to be interesting. Okay, Paul Onoche, Paul and Osimhen up front against Gabon. Same last formation, 4-4-2. Okay, you are just interested in that game. I know why you are interested. Everybody is interested in that game. That's one of the biggest games in Nigerian Super Eagles history when they play Gabon in that qualification. Have 2 games. If we win Gabon, they will move to the next final to play whoever that finishes in the final. Okay, Benedict is here. Benedict, welcome to the show. He said instead of Chelsea to buy full chicken,
they went to buy the lab.
They went to buy the lab. Okay. They buy full chicken, which is Osimhen. They went to buy the lab. Okay, Chelsea. I think Chelsea would have bought Osimhen. It would have been better, but decided to choose the lab for their striker. Okay, he's saying. Okay, Benedict is also saying, please, who else have noticed? Say anytime Garnacho scores for Chelsea, they don't win. They know they win the match. I think say they need to sign Dalot to unlock his full potential. He's enjoying his time. Okay, Benedict is also saying, so Ajax gave Chelsea Ibeto in the name of Hato and switched off their phone. This is very bad crime. This is a very bad crime. I just imagine if Qarabag wasn't in the Champions League, Chelsea would have fooled all of us. Okay, let's see. He's just coming for Chelsea. Okay, Jerry is here. Jerry, welcome to the show. Say good morning, guys. I think Chelsea coach underestimated their opponent, Qarabag, and he is very lucky to get a draw. Despite Maresca won the Club World Cup, I don't know how he did it, but I still see him as a confused coach.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let's see. Okay, AR is here. AR is saying, good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Okay, you guys are intelligent, knowledgeable, hardworking, organized, and in-depth analysis. Thank you, AR, for that comment. Okay, before we move to the Europa Cup, Africa startup story is here. Say, I used Gal game yesterday. I don't know what the Gal game. Good game.
That's right.
Okay, okay. I used Galatasaray game. Okay, good game. They were out to win from the start. Okay, Gala actually did well in that game. Okay, let's see. Okay, Benedict is also saying, I beg there is no surprise about Pafos. The only surprise now the fake world champions. You're just coming for Chelsea today. It's fine. Okay, before we talk about the Europa League, let's go for a quick commercial break. We'll be back. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the show. Let's move over to the Europa League. Two English clubs are playing the Europa League. Aston Villa will play Maccabi Tel Aviv at home in England. The other game that will happen in English team is Tom Grash will going to host Nottingham Forest. If you look at these two teams, let's start with Aston Villa playing at home. What do you think will happen in that game? Who wins in that game?
It's going to be a tight one if you consider Maccabi. They've been doing well so far in the Europa League, but you would like to give it to Aston Villa because of Unai Emery. Now, Unai Emery hasn't had a good run of games, but he should be able to pull this one off today in the Europa League.
When it comes to Europa League, their coach is the best. Emery is the best. I think he won that tournament 3 or 4 times. He has he has won it about 3 or 4 times. So when it comes to Europa League, just leave it for Unai Emery. He will find a way to qualify and find a way to win this tournament. But let's see, they are one of the strongest teams in this tournament. Okay, who wins in this game?
I think Villa winning.
They are playing at home, so they have a strong they have a strong case to make to win this game. Okay, other English team playing today in the Europa League is Nottingham Forest. They won their first game against FC Porto, so they'll be thinking, okay, why not continue in this run of game in the Europa League?
You have to give it to Nottingham Forest. Why you have to give it to them is that it's the Conference League. We all know what happened there last season, right? Chelsea was like the big fish in a small pond. So you have to give it to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest should be able to win this game and stake their claim to qualify into the knockout stages. Like, you have to give it to them. Secondly, I think Sean Dyche has done something for the club, which is he stabilized them in the way they play, going back to what used to be without playing the high line of what's his name now, Postecoglou. Okay. So he stabilized them in that way, and he has everything now to go ahead and win with this team because it's the same team that's been there. Nothing has changed. It's just that they've gone back to what they used to play before. So Forest should be winning.
Yeah, they got a draw against Manchester United at the weekend. So let's see if they are going to do well in the Europa League. We are rooting for
They
all
should have
English
won
teams.
that game, by the way.
Maybe you can argue that, or you can argue that Man U would have won that game. But let's see. Two of them are playing Europa League today. Let's hope they get results in the Conference League. Uh, Crystal Palace is going to play AZ Alkmaar. They lost their last game in the Conference League. But what the prediction for this game?
Alkmaar haven't been bossing in Europe since a very long time. When this guy used to be there, I've forgotten his name now. But they are one of those Dutch sides that have credible young talent. They grow their talent, but Crystal Palace is no pushover. So I'm seeing Palace winning this one.
Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see what happens in the Europa League and the Conference League. Okay, let's open the phone line for you to call in and give us your own contribution, especially that game for Chelsea. Chelsea getting only 1 point. Everybody was expecting them to win, but they could not win that game. So call us and tell us what you think about yesterday's champions, especially Osimhen scored a hat-trick. The number to call is 0706 048 5853. Yeah, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Name and location, please.
Yeah, this is Commander Godman.
Okay, your contribution.
Yeah, honestly, man, what I want to do, JCB and Newcastle last night.
Mm-hmm.
Look at if you have to, and Toshi. Look at
Their defense are just terrible.
they are just mediocre. No matter how you want to put it, they are just mediocre. Qarabag. That if the life of Arsenal or the life of Manchester City, they will be catching fight, and they will say it's just a small club, Qarabag. That team cannot.
I think they underestimated that team.
And somebody argued that you are saying about Purpose race shot. Yes, it's a shock. But the race shot gets you Qarabag. And what is it saying now? That was the race shot.
Well, it's true, sir.
Against Barcelona, it was a shock. But Barcelona, and he said that there was no rival.
Yeah, it entered. Yeah, entered in the second half. Yes.
He played. So there's no risk. They were just messing up.
All right. Thank you very much.
For this Nottingham Forest and I guess what the Trump brand. I'm looking for other friends. After that, we will get it. Please after they like it.
Yeah, they did actually.
And all flowers.
Yeah, see, we need him to be on form. Yes,
That header
was fantastic. Yeah.
that header was class.
All right. Thank you very much.
Wish he would repeat that for against
Gabo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Hopefully Osimhen will be. You need to see that header, the fantastic header. If you see how he crashed that ball in the back of the net, Osimhen is one of our own. He's one of our own. Hopefully he's going to do well. 0706 048 5853. Hello. Good morning. Good morning to you. Name and location, please. Okay, Double J, please step away from your radio set, Double J. All right. What is your contribution? Mm-hmm. Continue, yeah.
Ordinary Qarabag.
Mm.
Wow, not a small thing. And they are there claiming they are world champion. World champion that cannot be the small thing.
I think they underestimated that team.
Simple.
They are carrying the wrong side. Now world champion will enter their mouth. It will take for months.
They are world champion for 4 years, so
Don't be my man.
that's so. All right, thank you very much, Double J. Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. All right.
Garnacho was the deciding factor in that game.
If,
So
I don't know why they are
it
playing
wasn't
Garnacho.
the
If he did not
causative
score,
factor.
if he did not
If
score
he not
yesterday
scored, they
now,
would have
this is
lost.
not game.
Simple. So I don't think that's fair on Garnacho.
It's
That
not
one
fair.
na Man U Babele. Moving
not
on,
fair.
please.
Okay, your contribution about Chelsea game yesterday. Chelsea fans are quiet. 0706 048.
It's to be expected. Where is Pedro? Where is Igwe Chelsea?
All of them are quiet. But
All of them
it's true.
don't pack well now.
Okay, let's take this phone call. Okay, oh, it went off. Okay, let's go to our YouTube channel. Remember, guys, we are live
On
YouTube
YouTube.
at Volt FM Sports. And Solomon is here. Solomon is saying Chelsea trying to save cost. Abi, what's the salary of Delap and Garnacho combined? Wouldn't it have been better getting an Osimhen you are sure of? Selfishness is part of Chelsea's owners. Okay, we'll talk about that. Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost that. Because Barca draw, Chelsea draw. Next match is Chelsea versus Barcelona. So it's going to be an interesting game. Yeah, everybody was saying about it, but for me, Chelsea, Osimhen was there for everybody to take, and Chelsea needed a striker. Man U needed a striker because we could argue about him not going to Man U because Man U is struggling. But Chelsea qualified for the Champions. They needed in the top number, and they were probably just going for Osimhen, and everybody will just rest.
You would have gone for an Osimhen. Look at what's his name now? Jalpelo's paycheck. Look at Delap's paycheck. You can admit Delap because you didn't pay much to get him. But also look at the other guys who are earning 300 and something in the
For
team.
me, you can even buy Osimhen and leave the lap because Jalpelo can play in two positions, so it's a utility player for you. You can even play from the wing, so it makes sense. But the lap is only number 9. You needed number 9, and the lap you went from. For me, what is their choice? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Name and location, please. Godwin. Yeah, all right, okay. What is your contribution?
My name is Evangelist.
Okay, Evangelist, what's your contribution?
Each time I say these things, they think it's Fanta, it's not Fanta. Chelsea and Man U need to build a team before they begin to talk. Football is a team sport. It's not about buying a striker. What about the defense line? What about
They are still struggling, exactly. Especially that defense.
It's not about buying a striker. You need to. Football is a team sport. If you don't have those people in the middle of Man City that feed Erling Haaland, will Erling Haaland go and play 5 and 6 and also play 3 to be able to collect ball to go and score? What is the character of the team? They should have just played their full squad. They think it's Arsenal. They are not Arsenal. Arsenal has built a team, and they have been shoring up that team in the past 3-4 years.
Yeah.
It's a program. I mean, Pep Guardiola didn't just wake up one morning and won the EPL for 3-4 consecutive times. No, football is a team sport. And each time you have one good player, you start making mouth. You know, your goalkeeper is not there. Your defense, you are not too sure. If one person is missing there, you have a crisis. Let them build a team. I have often said this. So if you say you are resting players, you want to find out those who are resting, the people that you want to use. They should have just come to us now. We'll borrow them.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, but let's
Valid points all around, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
but let's see. I think generally they are just underestimating. Look at the players they feel. Then you know
It's not even about underestimating. Chelsea have bought quantity, not quality.
Okay, well, hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
You know that he's a national fan.
Name and location first. Okay, Alex, your contribution. Good morning to you.
So if you cannot deliver one, at least one, that is now we are now.
See better banter.
No, it's not about banter. Relieving a paper of his duties. Because it's for a very, very long time he has built, and there's nothing to show for it for 5 years. So that's now. It's not about giving excuses of injuries that Arsenal has acquired the squad depth.
Yeah.
So
True.
there's no excuse now. There's no excuse. That's my thing. There's no excuse. If you cannot deliver one, that one is for him.
All right.
That one is for him. And you see about
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, all right. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
True
you very
talk.
much. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Osime is trying me. I want Osime to do it because we need him for against Gabon. My interest is next week. All this thing we are talking about it. Next week on Thursday, it's going to be Nigeria versus Gabon. So we need all our strikers, especially Osime, to be firing. Okay, thank you for joining us today's show. Before I end this show, Pep Guardiola said something yesterday that I like. He said that okay, that Foden is back. Not only Foden, that the team is back and him, Pep Guardiola, is
He's
back.
back.
Okay, let's see.
Ginger,
So
come
Arsenal
on.
beware. Pep said that even him himself is back.
He's back.
So
Oh,
make everybody that in England now look out for Pep Guardiola. He said that he's back, but let's see if he's going to win the Champions League or the Premier League this season. But let's see. Thank you for joining us on today's show. Tomorrow we are back for more edition tomorrow. Join us tomorrow by 8 a.m. Join us on YouTube if you are not around Enugu, or you can always join us there just to help us build that community on our YouTube at Both FM Sports. My name is Godwin, and have a wonderful day.